It's the Tell Me Something Good podcast.
Because we believe that there is still good in the world.
Hi, I'm Lori Gray.
And I'm Rob Joe. We talk about the good things happening at Christ United Methodist Church here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
And we have a little fun, too.
We're so glad you're here.
Rojo, you ready?
Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Or podcast.
Yes, let's get this podcast on the road. Hey, LG.
What's up, Rojo?
We have a special guest this morning.
I don't know how to even introduce this one.
How do we begin? Well, you could say he's the ringleader.
Yes, or the righteous...
Right, Reverend Morris Brown.
Morris Brown! we got the head dude in here with us today.
Welcome to the pod, Morris Brown.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Are you really?
I've been waiting for this
Yes, you
several
have been.
weeks.
If
This
you
is
only
week
knew.
4 of being told by Pastor Brown that I'm ready to be on your podcast.
And here he is.
It's an exciting moment in my life.
It is.
One of my top 10.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
So, what is one of the things you love most about being on staff or working with your staff?
Working with my staff, I have a great staff that's very gifted and lots of fun. We have a lot of fun together, but we get good work done.
We work really hard.
Yeah.
We do.
But we laugh a lot.
We
do.
also work hard at laughing.
We do.
Laughing's our favorite.
If you can't laugh and have fun at work, then it's work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions you have for Morris?
Yes, I do have a question for Morris Brown. This is a serious one. So, a couple of weeks ago, he was at the desk on Sunday morning, and one of our youth had a question for him, and I cannot remember the question. It was Parker. And you used chess to explain something. Do you remember what the question was?
Yes, it was something, I don't remember the exact question, but it had to do with God's will and God controlling things in the world. And I talked about the fact that we have free will and that God has an ultimate plan, and it's kind of like a chess game. So we have the freedom to make lots of different moves, and God makes counter moves. But ultimately, God wins the game. So all shall be well, as St. Julian of Norwich once said. So that gives us great comfort in the midst of the decisions that we have to make.
I love that.
It was a great answer, and Parker was just like, wow. And then his mom was like, he just comes up with that stuff. And I'm like, believe it or not, yes, he does. That's
30
why
plus
he's,
years of ministry has
Yes.
equipped him for moments like this.
That's why he's the righteous right reverend.
I always get nervous when a youth asks me a question.
Oh, I would too.
Yes.
Well, one of my favorite questions that I heard a youth ask was at your...
Yes. I
When I
remember
joined
that
the
question.
church a couple years ago.
Yes, and we all went out to lunch, and one of our youth was there. I say all of us went out to lunch. So Rob's family was there. I was there. Our friend Andy, Pastor Morris, and Pam, and Andy's children were there. And Rollins said, "So, Pastor Morris, can I ask you a question?" And he's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Oh no, oh no." And he said, "Do you wear clothes under your robe?"
And the answer was?
Yes.
Yes.
I promise.
So one of my favorite things about Pastor Morris is he has lots of funny stories to tell.
So Sunday morning, both services
Yes.
loved your story about Zach playing Zacchaeus
Yes.
when he was a kid. So do you want to give us a quick overview of that in case they didn't hear the sermon on Sunday?
Sure. So it was in my very first church. The children's director decided to do a play of Zacchaeus. And my Zach was 4 years old at the time, and he was in his cowboy phase, which means he wore his cowboy boots, his cowboy hat, his cowboy clothes to bed all day, couldn't get them off of him. So anyway, we agreed to let him play Zacchaeus when he got to church, and he wouldn't take off his cowboy outfit. And so she said, fine, you can leave it on as long as you put a bathrobe over it. Mm-hmm. So she put a bathrobe over him, and the play started, the skit started in church. And he climbed up on a stool next to a cardboard sycamore tree, and the little kid playing Jesus and all the disciples came in. And Jesus said, Zacchaeus, you come down from there, for I'm going to your house today. And my Zach paused, looked out into the congregation, smiled at his mother, and then pulled out his plastic pistol and shot Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Kids are the best. You
Yes.
just don't know what they're going to do. It's
Yes.
my favorite when we have Family First Sunday
Yeah.
and the kids perform because, inevitably somebody's pulling up their dress or picking their nose or, you just don't know what they're going
Right.
to do.
And then you said that Jesus Christ
Oh, yeah, the
fell
best
to
part.
the floor.
Yeah, the best part was the
Like
kid
that.
playing Jesus just dropped to the floor like he was dead. So, of course, everybody cracked up about that. And it was the last skit we ever did in church.
That's
at that
probably a good
church,
idea.
yes.
Well, I think that this just kind of shows like your time in ministry, right? Like you have these moments where you are able to share your faith and theology with young people, and you have these humorous moments. Mm-hmm. And it's all just a part of what life and ministry look like.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about my job is I get to engage people of all different ages at fun times in their life and at challenging times in their life.
Yeah.
And it's a real privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, thank you for your leadership.
And
You're
it's
welcome.
awesome, too, because I grew up in a Baptist church, and so the pastors were put up on a pedestal, and I was afraid of our pastor. Like, I just thought he was untouchable, and you're so relatable and friendly, and it's awesome when you're not preaching because you come out front and you hang out and talk to our congregation as they come in the doors, and so it's nice it's just refreshing to have a pastor who's a regular and doesn't pretend to be some high priest, something crazy. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, I am the
Anyway.
righteous right reverend.
Well, we know that.
And we
but-
recognize that. But we also appreciate the authenticity.
Yes,
So-
for sure.
I appreciate that.
Do all these compliments make you uncomfortable?
A little bit uncomfortable.
Okay, we'll
yes.
move on then.
Okay, we'll
Thank
stop
you.
talking about that. So we've got, a big week coming up in the church.
And how appropriate that we have Pastor Morris with us because it's Holy Week
Coming up,
here at Christ Church.
starting March 24th. which
So
is
not
on
Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yep. Palm Passion Sunday.
Palm Passion Sunday. Back pre-COVID, we used to have the kids wave palm leaves as the choir came in at the traditional service, and the choir called it the car wash
Yeah.
because they would walk down through and the kids would swat them with the
Yeah.
palm leaves. It was fun. Anyway, yep. So that's Palm Passion Sunday on March 24th,
And those are just our regular services at 9 and 11.
Yep.
Right.
And then we have our drive-through communion for Maundy Thursday.
Right. 3
Oh.
opportunities.
That's right. That's March 28th. So 7:30 to 9 a.m., 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. We'll have the Good
Tenebrae
Friday
service.
Yeah, Tenebrae service, which we started last year. Pastor Morris started with he used to do this you did it at one of your other churches, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they stripped the chancel, and it is very powerful.
And let me just tell you, I was sitting there, it was very quiet, and Pastor Samuel slammed the Bible shut, and I about used the bathroom in my pants. It was not good. But on a very serious note, it was very, very meaningful in the
Very
moment.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's on March 29th at 7:30 p.m. in our main sanctuary. And then we get to come in on Easter Sunday, March 31st, and celebrate the risen Christ. And it is a celebration, for sure, with trumpets and
Bells.
singing and bells and all the great things. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. And on social media this week, on Thursday, the church will be posting like a carousel of photos with all this information. So we encourage you to go to one of our social media channels and share and comment so that not only the people that you know that already attend our church, but those that might not, that they would know what we have going on and they might want to join us. So we would encourage you to invite a friend.
Yeah. So again, Palm Passion Sunday, March 24th, our regular service times. Our Maundy Thursday drive-through communion on the 28th of March with at 7:30 to 9 a.m., 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And then our Good Friday Tenebrae service on the 29th at 7:30 p.m. And then, of course, Easter Sunday on March 31st. I can't believe it's almost Easter.
I know.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yep.
Any other good words of wisdom you'd have for the people of a podcast?
No, I don't think so. Other than remember what my coffee mug says. Don't make me put you on one of my sermons.
And
we
he
try to
will.
live by that.
He
'cause
does.
We have seen the fruits of that.
Yes.
But I always ask permission.
Yeah, that is true.
You do always ask permission.
Except for the time that I was joining the church,
Oh.
and Pastor Morris and I were sitting in Susan Pabone's office, and I didn't know Pastor Morris very well. I hadn't been on staff for very long. So he said, "What do you want the church to know about you when you joined this morning?" And I was joking, and
No,
I
you
said that I'm handsome, like I'm
Dashingly good
dashingly
looking.
good looking, and I have great taste in shoes. And he goes, "Okay," and kind of jots in his little book. And I'm like, surely he's just acting like he's writing in his book. Well, we were standing up there in front of a couple hundred people, and he says, "This is Robert Joe, and he's joining our church today, and these are some things that he wants you to know about himself." And I could have crawled under
It was so funny.
the pew. It was so horrible. It was so funny. So, yes,
Again.
be careful what you say
Yes.
or do in front of Pastor Morris. He might put you in one of his sermons.
We've all been in there at some point,
Yeah, that's
somehow, some way. And if you ever hear him say, "Someone once said," it means it's him. He said it. So just remember that.
Yikes.
This has been a fun. What do you think about the podcast?
I love it. It's great. I'm so thankful that y'all came up with this idea, and I hope all of our staff can be on it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to push for Pastor Nikki next,
Oh.
and then Pastor Samuel and Pastor Katie.
Tell us
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, Pastor Nikki has a very soothing voice that we all enjoy hearing. So
People have made commentary, and I think it's nice that we have, and especially like you in your leadership role, allow the other pastors to have such an active role in the preaching and leadership of the church. So,
they're all great preachers. Really, we're really blessed at Christ Church to have 4 different voices that are really have good things to say.
Yeah.
So
We have to wait till after March Madness to have Pastor Samuel on the
Oh,
podcast
gosh,
because
that's
I
probably
just
a great
can't
idea.
have
Yeah.
a whole podcast talking about Duke
Yeah.
basketball.
well, he's in mourning right now after last Saturday's game.
Oh,
Yes.
bless his heart. I
go
know.
Heels.
Yep, that's right. Pastor Samuel.
Oh, we love you, Pastor Samuel.
We do.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in this week. We're so glad that you were with us, and we were so glad that Pastor Morris was with us.
Yes, thank you, Pastor Morris.
Thank you for having me.
Does this mean we don't have to hear about it for a while now until you decide that you're ready to be back on it again?
Yes,
And then, but you'll let us know. I'm
I'll
sure.
let you know.
Maybe what we'll do is in September when you turn the next year older, you can give us some wisdom that you've learned in your past year's
Yes.
life. 60
I'll
things
be-
you've learned in 60 years.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
I got it. I didn't say we'll see you next week. I said we'll talk to you next week.
We're getting better.
We're getting better. We're working on it, y'all.
Well, you'll tell us something good, right?
That's right. Tell me something good.
Wow.
See you on it, or talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.